Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I would like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar, we're going to be talking about BNI Connect, your global network. What we're going to be going into today is really a lot of the social media components of BNI Connect. So different ways where you can find other people in BNI Connect, how you can connect with them, add them to your personal BNI address book, how you can communicate with them, how can you can leave them testimonials, all sorts of things here in BNI Connect. One of the great things about BNI is that since BNI Connect, we are now all connected as BNI members around the world. So I've been a member. I'm a member here in the Rhode Island region and the Wakefield chapter. I've been a member since about 2002. And before BNI Connect, if I wanted to get in touch with a BNI Connect BNI member, even within my own state, it was kind of difficult for me to do that. So if I had a referral for somebody that wasn't represented in my own chapter, trying to find that information and look that person up was really, really difficult. We were very isolated to just our own chapter. Now, fast forward a couple of years, and now we have BNI Connect, and I can actually look up the services of any BNI member around the world. And as a matter of fact, at the end of this month, we're going to be bringing Australia, New Zealand, and Canada into the system. And at that point, 170,000 members around the world will all be in this same system. Now, that is just awesome. The one great thing about BNI is that we all kind of share the same code of ethics. So whether you go to a BNI chapter meeting in your home state, in your hometown, or in another country, people are still following the same philosophy of giver's gain. They still have membership committees, and they're doing their presentations and 10-minute presentations and passing referrals the same way we are in our own chapters. So that automatically builds a level of trust between members that, I'd rather use another BNI member than just go to someplace like Angie's List or Yelp or Google and randomly find somebody. So today we are going to show you how to go and use the system for those purposes, and also possibly how to optimize your account a little bit in order to be found in other places as well. Before we get started with that, a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, this is a live webinar, so if you have any questions whatsoever as we're going through the material today, please feel free to raise those questions as we're going along. The best way to do that is to type your question into the questions panel. I'll see that pop up on my screen, and I'll be able to answer it as we're going through the material. Or if it's completely and totally unrelated, I will definitely reserve time at the end and answer any questions that you might have about BNI Connect. We are also recording this webinar. We do record all of our webinars here in BNI Connect, and you can find them in a couple of places. The first place to look is on the support site. If you click on this question mark in the upper right-hand corner of BNI Connect, that will take you over to the support site. On the support site, you'll first see our list of upcoming training webinars, and if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see chapter training and documentation. Pretty much anything you need to know how to do in BNI Connect, you can find it here on the support site, including the recent webinars. So right now, we do have all of the March 2015 webinars recorded. We do this whole series on a monthly basis. So you can, if you want to, review the Global Network instance from last month, and probably in a couple of days I will have a whole new article up here for April 2015 with the already completed webinars there. You can also always go directly to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. Follow us there, and you will be alerted to any new recordings that we put up there, not just webinars, but we do other things as well, such as short educational moment videos that you're welcome to share at your chapters, little 3 to 5 minute walkthroughs of specific functionality. Let's get started with today. So again, we're talking about the social media components of BNI Connect. A couple of things to keep in mind is that this is all tied to your profile, and your profile does show up in a couple of different places. It shows up both on the public internet sites as well as the internal sites. So if you haven't done so, please make sure that you fill out your profile. As people are looking for you in BNI Connect and they're doing searches for you, that is going to be the first thing that they see is your profile. And whether or not they decide to click through it or send you a connection request or possibly even refer you business will depend on how complete your profile is and how much that's building your VCP, your visibility, credibility, and profitability. If you want to see what your profile looks like to other members in BNI, the easiest thing to do is to scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the link in the bottom left-hand corner that says Profile. This will take you to your personal profile, as other people will be able to see it when they're logged into BNI Connect and they find you. The thing to keep in mind is that, they will see this information about you. You do have control over what you're sharing, by the way, whether you're sharing all this information to everybody or just your connections, or you decide you don't want to share some of this information at all. That's okay. That's all managed through your profile. But they'll see your name, your company name. They'll see if you're sharing a video about your company on there. If you have your phone numbers, they'll see your email address if you decide to share that, and your social media links. They can also look at your bio tab, and they'll be able to look at your weekly presentations and your gains profile, your tops profile. They can also take a look at your connections, so they can see the other people that you're connected with, just like on LinkedIn, where you can click through and look at somebody's second-level connections. So if I wanted to, I could click through to Alfred E. Newman's profile and go and see the people that he's connected with as well. You can also see people's testimonials, and we'll show you today how you can leave testimonials for people that you know, like, and trust throughout BNI. There's also a picture sharing library where you can share up to 20 photos. They can be business photos, they can be family photos. Just keep in mind, this is ways that you can increase your credibility. So you do want to make sure that they are appropriate photos as well. But you can do unique things like that, like share client testimonials as well. If you have the ability to save a piece of paper as a PNG or a PD, as a GIF or a JPEG, then you will be able to share that through your profile. People can also look at the groups that you're participating in and possibly join those discussions as well. And finally, a big credibility booster is your training history, and they can see what various trainings you've been to. So again, if you need to update any of this stuff, click on the Update Profile My BNI page when you're looking here, or if you're back on the home page, just click on Update Profile or go to Options My Account. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because they have a whole webinar dedicated just to filling out your profile. But it's broken into a bunch of different tabs that you can go through and monitor and fill out. The one thing that I do want to spend just a minute on, however, is right on the first tab, the keywords. And the keywords are a really important part of your profile when it comes to the social media side of things. And that is because people are going to be searching for you based on your keywords. A lot of times we're not going to know each other's names. We just know that we're looking for a massage therapist in Florida, or we're looking for a roofer in Connecticut, or a spiritual healer in California. Whatever it might be that you're looking for, people need to be able to find you. Now, they're going to find you based on things like your industry and your classification and your address and your state and things like that. But the way to supplement that and to make sure you get found for all the things you want to be found for is to make sure that you're filling out your keywords appropriately. You can add other services that you do or other things that you're interested in. Another good technique is to, let's say that you're an accountant. And up here, your classification might say accountant. Well, you may need to also put in accounting into your keywords because some people may be searching for accounting instead of accountant. You can also put in things like locations. For example, I put in Massachusetts and Connecticut because my company does go over the border into other states. So that's a good idea to fill out some additional keywords in here. All right, now let's get into a little bit more of the meat and potatoes of this. So I'm going to click back onto my home screen here. Now, all of the social media components are going to be beyond this home screen. So the home screen has all of the things like being able to submit slips and looking at your statistics and things like that. But we do need to go beyond the home menu here in order to see some of these other functions. Now, a lot of people have said to me over the years, BNI Connect, it's not very user-friendly. I can never find things in BNI Connect. I don't know where to click on. I don't know where to go. Here's how I remember it. Just a little hint. So up here along the top, you'll see a bunch of menu items: network operations, reports, tools, and admin. Most people are just going to be concerned with network operations and reports. Network is going to be the shortcuts to all of the social media functions, the groups, the connections, the testimonials. Operations is always going to be input. So if you need to do something in BNI Connect, almost all the time you're going to go to operations, whereas reports are always output only. So it's only going to be finding information or finding statistics. You can never enter anything by going to reports. So if you need to enter something, go to operations. If you're looking for stats, go to reports. And the social media functions, we're going to go to network. Tools and admin, most people don't have access to anyway. They just contain some special functions. The other place you can go is that you'll start out on your My Business screen. You'll notice that on the left-hand side, there's some shortcut menus here as well. If you click on My Network, it will take you to the interface for all of these networking components. So here we also have shortcuts to your connections, your groups, documents. The documents are a document sharing library. This is where your regional office can upload things like the hard copy of the bio form or maybe the visitor sign-in sheet or things like that. So those are going to be located under documents. We have our testimonials area. Events are going to be all the events that you might want to partake in, such as member success program or the advanced trainings that might be available in your particular area. Of course, you can see those on your regional event calendar, and this is a way to see all those events in a more of a list format. And then there's also an internal messaging system where any of your connections, you can send messages back and forth with. Let's take a look at the connections first, and this is where the BNI Connect part comes in. So the connections are it's your personal BNI address book or your contact list. To get into your connections, I'm going to click on Manage under Connections here. Of course, I can always go to Network Connections as well if I'm somewhere else in the system. Now, if I go into Network Connections, what we'll see here is, again, our address book of people that we're connected with. By default, you will start out with all of the connections of the people that are in your chapter. So as a member of the chapter, you will be connected to your other fellow chapter members. Those particular connections are automatically managed by BNI Connect. So as somebody new comes into your chapter, you'll automatically be connected to them. So if you're looking for to get in touch with somebody from your chapter, you're looking to send them an email or view their profile, you can do this by coming into Connections, and they will be listed here in your connections automatically for you. And as people leave your chapter, those connections will go away as well as part of this interface. That being said, you can make connections with any of the 170,000 members around the world and store those connections in your address book here. You can see here I happen to have 482 connections of people that I've connected with around the world. So I can go through and, for example, we have Ivan Meisner here. I could click on Ivan Meisner's name and his profile will pull up. So if I need to send him an email or if I need to go click on his website or view his YouTube channel or anything like that, I have all of the information here. I also have the phone number and the company. So this is basically a contact card. At the bottom here, I also have a couple of other options. I can send him a message. That's that internal messaging system. I can ask Ivan for a testimonial. I can give Ivan a testimonial. I can go view his complete profile. Or I can actually remove him from my connections. You can also sort these by industry and look at your sent requests. We're going to get back to that in just 1 second. The first thing you may want to start doing is adding people to your connections and really utilizing this global network. And you can do that if you're in this connections interface. click on the Add Connection button. Now you can also do this. Let me just go back to the home screen here for a second. I can also do this by clicking the Add button here, or from any screen in BNI Connect, I can use this magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner. No matter which you click on, it's all going to take you to the same place, and that's going to be the BNI Global Directory search. And again, this allows you to search the entire BNI Global Directory. Now, the easiest thing to do, of course, is to always search by somebody's name. That'll more than likely always give you a direct hit on who you're looking for. So, for example, we have Kathy McDaniel on the call with us today. So I'm just going to do a search for Kathy McDaniel. I can see that we have one direct hit here, one exact match. I can see that she's in the DM Business Connections chapter and from Bryant, Iowa, Heating and Cooling, and Ankeny, Iowa. Now, if I'd like to, I can send her a connection request right away by clicking this plus sign. I could also click on her name, and this will open up her public profile. So whatever she's choosing to share with people that aren't yet connected will be here. So I can see that she's done a great job at sharing some information on her profile. She has a nice company logo set up already. I can click through. I can go to her website. I can learn more information about her. I can give her a call. If I had a referral for her, I could call her because she's sharing her phone number. This is all great information. If I'd like to have a connection with her and put her into my BNI address book, I would just click on Add Kathy to my connections up here. I can then customize the message. I could say, thanks for being on the webinar today. I would like to add you to my connections. Once I send this, she'll be notified that I have asked her for a connection. And then she'll have the opportunity to accept that connection, or she could always decline my connection request as well. Now, the nice thing about clicking on the person's name is I can actually close out of this tab. It opened up in a new tab, and I can go back to my original search. Now, a lot of times you're not going to know the person's name. Now, this works really great for referrals, as I said before. Yeah, I happen to have clients here in Rhode Island. I have one particular client. They have their main office here in Rhode Island, but they also have an office in Virginia, as well as an office in Florida. Now, we handle most of their stuff remotely, but if they have a problem that needs an on-site technician, the first place I always look for is, let's say, BNI Connect, so I can find a computer person down there that can run over and fix a virus or something like that. So I would do a search for, let's say, computer repair in Florida. I could then search members. And here are going to be the results. Now, this is bringing me back about 250 results from all over Florida. I may want to be a little bit more specific than that, and maybe I'm just looking for somebody, I don't know, Miami. And now I have this sorted out by Miami. So these are, I'm using the secondary search here to just filter out the list. I can then start clicking through. I can, let's say, look at somebody's profile. I'm going to click through. I'm going to open up a couple of them here. And Luke. And I can start clicking through them and viewing their profiles and deciding whether or not I want to actually connect with any of those people. And I can see here that this person is building some credibility. They have their keywords filled out. They have their information filled out. And the more information you have filled out, the more likely it is. Now, here's one example here. This is a person in Miami that I do have her website, but if I wanted to give her a call right now or shoot her an email, I couldn't do so because she's not sharing her phone number. So that makes it tough to get in touch with somebody. Most people aren't going to jump through hoops in order to connect with you, so make it easy for them. Whereas some of the other people here, I can give this person a call because they're sharing their phone number with me. But again, that's up to you, and that is up to your own privacy concerns. Sal asks a question. He said, is this search function based on the profile keywords? So yes, and actually in this yellow box here, it goes into a little bit more detail as to all the fields that are searched. So yes, it is very keyword search intensive, as well as the other fields that are listed here. Now you can also, if you want to, do an advanced search. If we click this advanced search button, this will then show you all of the fields individually to search against, so especially with people that have very common names, for example, or names that could be either first name or last name. It's a good idea to use this advanced search because you can search just against, let's say, the last name field, or let's say I'm only looking for people in certain countries, or I'm traveling to Italy and I'd like to look for a car service in Italy that can pick me up from the airport. All of these things can be done through this individual search. Now, once you start sending out connection requests, and I welcome you all to send me a connection request. I'd be happy to connect with you. You can go back to the connections interface. So I'm going to go back to network connections. And you do need to accept your connection request. So when people send you that connection request, you go to received requests. And here we can see that Kay McKinnon has sent me a connection request. I can go and I can click on her name or her profile picture, and that will show me her information. I can check it out before I accept it, or I can click on read message. I can then read this information and choose to accept, ignore, or reject this request. Once I accept it, Kay will become part of my connections. My connections just went from 483 to 484, and I can now go back and contact her later if I need to. All right, while we're in here, the other thing that we can do is give people testimonials. Now, you do have to do that through this connections interface. You do need to be connected with somebody first before you can give them a testimonial. And the way to do that is to go to their profile page here and click on Give the Person a Testimonial. You can then just type your testimonial out, and I think it's a limit of about 2,000 characters. And once you submit it, it will appear on their profile. Now, once you have started giving testimonials and receiving testimonials, you can manage those testimonials by clicking on the Testimonials button here in Connections. Of course, we can click on Network Testimonials, or if we go back to our home screen in the My Network tab, I could click on Manage under Testimonials. Here we'll see a list of all the people that have given us testimonials, and we can go through and we can click on them. We can review those testimonials. We can also choose whether or not we want to display those testimonials on our profile. And if necessary, we can even delete those testimonials. You can also review testimonials that you've given to other people. And if people have requested testimonials from you, you can respond to those testimonial requests. All right, the last thing I want to go into in detail today before I open it up to questions is the groups functionality. And when we talk about the global network, one step is connecting with people and establishing the relationship that way. But another way to connect with people and really to deepen those relationships is to get engaged in the conversations that people are having on a worldwide scale. And that's really what the groups functionality is. And it's similar to many of the other discussion groups that are out there on many other platforms, from Facebook to LinkedIn to all of the other social media platforms. The difference is that the groups in BNI Connect are going to be closed only to BNI members. So only active BNI members and director consultants and people from headquarters can be engaged in these conversations. And there are conversations going on about everything. Let's take a look at that. So again, I can go back to this My Network page. I can click on Manage, or I can always go to Network Groups. Now in here we can see that there are, let's see, 505 active discussion groups. One thing to keep in mind is that these are active groups. After 120 days, if there's no activity, BNI Connect will automatically remove them from the system. So you can be sure that all of the conversations that you're searching against and looking for here are all active conversations. And as I said, there are conversations happening about everything. So here's a group here for attorneys in BNI, one for digital and creative categories, renewable energy. There's a couple that are done directly by Ivan Meisner. One is from the founder, and another one is called Why BNI. Both of those are actively posted in, active discussions going on with, this one happens to be one of the largest ones in BNI Connect with 2,753 participants. Now when we talk about visibility, credibility, profitability, when you're participating in these groups, and especially a group that large, when you post to a group, that is 2,753 people that you're exposed to that are going to be reading that comment, that are going to be responding to you and engaging in that conversation. If you'd like to look for a specific category or specific group to get involved with, the easiest thing to do is to use the magnifying glass up here, and you can do a search for keywords or creator or what have you. So let's say I just want to do and search for all the groups that Dr. Meisner has created to become a part of. I would do that and click search. And all of the groups created by Dr. Meisner, actually Doctors Meisner, we have the two groups from the founder, Why BNI, and then of course we have the one from Beth Meisner as well on the BNI Foundation, the charitable organization that is an arm of BNI. If you'd like to become part of that group and participate in the conversation and be notified when people are posting and be able to leave comments, click on Join Group. If you're already part of the group and you no longer want to be a part of the group, you would have the option to leave group. To participate in the conversation, you can always click on the group name. Once you become part of that group, they will be listed under My Groups. So I can click on My Groups up here. And these will be all the groups that I am part of or that I am administering, which are about 9 groups right now. So I could always click on From the Founder, for example. I can take a look, and this is a highly active group. I can take a look at all the different categories. And let's say I wanted to click on the Introduce Yourself category. And I could take a look through here. I could read people's comments. If I wanted to, I could also post a message here and leave a message for this group. And again, that's 3,000 people almost that will be notified and I will be introducing myself to if I were to post a message here. Again, you are welcome to join as many groups as you would like to. You can also create up to 7 of your own groups. Now keep in mind, remember, you do need to participate in them and you do need to keep them active, otherwise they will be automatically shut down after 120 days. But you can manage up to 7 of your own groups. And the way to add a group of your own would just be to click on the Add Group button up here at the top. You just need to give the group a name. Choose what type of group it is. There's 3 different types of groups available. An open group means that anybody can search for it, anybody can find it, they can comment in it, things like that. An invite-only group means that only you as the administrator and anybody that you delegate as a coordinator for that group would be able to invite people to the group. And then the halfway between that is that once people become part of the group, they can invite their friends. Give the group a description. You can invite people and click Submit. That will create the group for you, and you can start posting and making comments and building a following of your own. And there are a ton of creative uses for this. Again, there's people that are based on profession. There are people looking for referrals. And there are people that just do things like there's a great group here. Not sure where it is listed on this one, but there's one called, for example, the Growth Coordinators Group. Growth Coordinator is a relatively new position in BNI. It's only been around for a couple of years. So this group of people from around the world, a couple of hundred people, they get together and they post ideas for growth coordinators, saying, what are you doing to grow your chapter, and what's the best way to run a visitors day, and what's the best way to invite visitors, and what's the most popular category in your area, things like that, to help each other with this growth coordinator position. So that, my friends, is the social media side of BNI Connect, the connections, the groups, the testimonials. Feel free to click through your document library, which is going to be, again, subject to your region. Your regional office provides those documents. Check through the messages as well if you'd like to keep an internal message to send to somebody that you're connected with. And be sure to register for some additional training events within your region. We are at the bottom of the hour, and I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. If anybody does need to leave right away to get to their next appointment, I want to thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. For anybody that might have additional questions, I am always happy to stay on these webinars and answer questions live until every last question is answered. So please feel free to start posting questions now, and I will gladly get to those. Just a couple of reminders. This is being recorded. It will be made available as soon as possible up on our YouTube channel as well as on the support site. And finally, I would absolutely love it if you gave us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. We also do some webinar announcements and reminders and tips and tricks and all sorts of things up here on our Facebook channel as well. All right, I'm not seeing any questions, so a good referral for me is to please let other people know about these webinars. We do have our very next webinar is going to be Monday, April 13th, so a couple of days from now. We're going to be going even deeper into BNI Connect. So we went beyond the home screen today. We're going to go even deeper into those operations and reports menus and see all the mysteries that are embedded there. We're going to be going over the member tools and reports, and that's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern this coming Monday. Please, a good referral for me is to pass this registration link along for other people to join us this coming Monday. All right, we do have a question that popped up from Sal. Sal said, is the document section only for BNI related kinds of documents as opposed to other material? Sal, it's really for whatever your region has chosen to share with you. So if I look, for example, in my documents section, my executive director here in Rhode Island, my regional office manager, the other director consultants that have access to this, these are the things that they've chosen to share. Some things like the control letters for vice presidents, that only vice presidents and people with access would even be able to see that. Here's one for the gains profile and the transfer request form. I can drop this down and look at 50 things at a time, and leadership team agreement. So, I mean, there's all sorts of things, traffic light reports, and so really it's at the discretion of your regional office. As a member, you won't have the ability to upload things here. You would only have the ability to download the items from here. So does that make sense? Does that help, Sal? Excellent. All right. What other questions you guys have? All right. I'm not seeing any other questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you so much for being here with me today. I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Happy connecting.